Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and of course to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes, or as an option, if you want to just be a lurker and you don't want to say anything at all, you can just be a lurker and you can just not say anything at all. That's also okay. Ghost Valve is here. Hello, Ghost Valve. Welcome, welcome. It is a Thursday, and I am working on a model kit, working on the Star Build Gundam Plavsky Wing. Hello, Lashbrook. Welcome. That's this kit right here. And we are going to finish it tonight. Hey, Lord Crashington, welcome. Yeah, this kit is body complete. It needs a backpack, which is also the core fighter. It needs a shield and a gun. And then the backpack has guns. And then there's some effects parts. We got all these cool blue effects parts we haven't used at all yet. So we got to do that. And the core fighter can sit on the stand that it comes with. It comes with its own stand. We'll look at that in the overhead slot because the effects parts that you can rotate through different effects parts. You can take off some of the clear reddish effects parts and put on the clear bluish effects parts. And the stand lets you keep the other ones, which is interesting. It's a weird little thing. Also, we're currently at 44 subscribers. The goal is to get to 50, and I shut up at 50. We are currently at 44, as I said. And it would be great if we could get to 50 subscribers. If you want to become a subscriber, you're watching this right now. Or if you want to gift a sub to somebody in the community, either through various means of like taking credit for it or being anonymous, you could do that. You got options out there. And thank you for watching the stream. I don't say that enough. I mean it. Thanks for watching right now, in this moment. Thanks for tuning in early or watching it on a VOD, either on my YouTube channel or on the Twitch VOD. My voice will crack a little bit here and there as it just did there. I am predicting tonight. Because on Tuesday, I streamed for 2.5 to 2 3/4 of an hour doing my Pat Bear's Anime Club stream. And then yesterday I did a long meeting, and then today I played D&D for 2 hours with like 45 minutes of hangout after. So my voice might be a little bit more shot than it normally is. I know it's normally picture perfect, but it might not be tonight. We'll find out. It's also Villainous night. We're going to wrap up Villainous level 99 and 7th Time Loop. Both stellar shows. We'll be closing the book on those. Aristofan just resubbed. That's a tier 2. That's 67 months. Thank you so much. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site. Tier 2 blue emote in chat. Let's thank Aristofan for being a subscriber for 67 months, which is awesome. I appreciate it very much. Lord Crashington jokes. How dare you talk off stream? Yeah, I know, right? Believe me. I don't want my voice to be bad or tough. Deathstrike is here. Hi. Welcome. Happy to have you here. Let's go to the overhead. Lord Crashington wants me to hit the dance button, so I'll hit the dance button, and then we'll go to the overhead. We'll go to the overhead, and then I'll hit the dance button. Thank you for using your channel points for that. Dance button. Oh, yeah. So we got the Plavsky Wing here. The Star Build Strike Gundam Plavsky Wing, and the stand it came with. It did come with a stand. I talked about that. I did talk about how it does come with a stand, which is nice because it's got slots for the effects parts that you can swap in and out. We'll get to that soon. We're going to work on the gun and the shield, and then we will work on the... so we'll build the gun, we'll build the shield, we'll attach those things, and then we'll move on to working on the core fighter. Which it might have a different name. That's the name that I always give for that type of vehicle. But we'll get the gun together here. We'll panel line the gun. We'll make it look nice. District says that's looks like a slightly less crappy stand than the usual 3-point stand. Yes. These stands are 2 pieces. They are not 3 pieces, and that makes them better than the the three-piece clear stands that often you will get in some kits. The fact that this is one solid piece is certainly beneficial. And then, of course, it's just got the spot there. So this does stand up pretty well. So it is better than other 3-point stands, yeah. But it's not great. It's fine for this. I mean, it also, if you want to have your backpack that's the core fighter and you want to have that separate, then showcase that separately, then it's nice having a stand like that. Oh, the black ones that some kits come. Oh, yeah. Oh, see, I thought you meant the clear ones that these legs are like two pieces that overlay over each other, and they can like be kind of narrow and get kind of wide. I don't love those. Yeah, there are some stands that are not great. A lot of kits of this era of build fighters had not all of them, but a lot of them did come with stands that were like, eventually that's going to snap. This isn't nice. The downside of this is it's not really universal because only so many kits are going to fit on that. Like this does, the way it's designed, but not every high grade is going to fit in there. But it is nice for this kit. And I do like the way it's set up that way. Or I do enjoy the way that it is designed. All right, so we'll get the gun going here. We'll get the gun together, and then again, we're just going to move on. We're going to do plenty of weapons, because there's the regular version of the gun, and then there's the extra stuff that goes on it as well, and we'll get that together as we do. So this is going to go... This has got to go here. Is that right? No? Oh, it goes here. Got it. Goes there. And then attaches. Okay. I got some shit to talk about tonight. A few things. So we often talk about Twitter and Elon. Just as I recently bought the second season Witcher Mercury suit with the boom cannon gun thing. Yes. The broom, the Calibarn. That's the thing. So look, I'll say this. I did not clock that the hold under your arm big gun that like opens in the back. I did not clock immediately when I saw it that is supposed to invoke a broom because it's a witch. I didn't pick that up immediately. So I do want to say that ain't me being clever and being like, oh, obviously. I did not pick up on that at first. And then I did. Then once I saw it and was like, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. Well, there's nothing else it could be other than that is a broom, which is fun. Calibarn is in storage right now. I kept that one because it's cool as hell. Right, winning I-16. Going forward, this is Elon Musk said this yesterday. Going forward, all X accounts with over 2,500 verified subscriber followers will get premium features for free, and accounts with over 5,000 will get Premium Plus for free. Because there's a difference between Premium Plus. That's Twitter Blue, because they could call it that. They don't want to call it that. So going forward, all X accounts with over 2,500 verified subscriber followers. So that's not 2,500 followers. That's 2,500 followers who also have premium. Those people, if you qualify for that, you will get premium features. They will not charge you for those features. Now, is that saying that you can cancel your premium, or if you somehow have that many followers but never had premium, then you'll just get those features? And I think that's what it's supposed to be, right? Now, there are several things about that are fishy and weird and nonsensical, and not just because Elon Musk is the one that said this. And you should always take what he has to say with a grain of salt. Why am I not getting this piece together? This piece is supposed to lock in here. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay. Wait. So I'm going to make sure I'm doing this right. This is I-20. I-20, I put like this. There is a little slot there. And then this piece is supposed to clip in here like that. Oh, okay. It goes in like that, I think. And then I flip it over. And then this is supposed to... Slipping like that. I'm gonna avoid this piece for now because I actually don't need it. So we'll just leave it like off that. All right, and then this looks like that. It looks like that. Okay, great. There's our weapon done. We can panel line that. So beyond the fact that like who's got all of those followers, right? Like that's the first thing you think of, like, oh yeah, plenty of people have that many followers. Oh, so that's cool. But how many people have that many followers who are subscribers? Verified subscriber followers. So that's not even, again, there's two things here, because originally I was looking at it going, how many people are verified? Oh, wait, no, you mean subscribers. So you're saying not only are there people who pay Twitter, the amount of people who pay Twitter and also subscribe to people, because that's the other thing you have to remember, is that's the like, it's like the newsletter within Twitter, within X, is that function. How many people have that many actual people paying them as well as paying Twitter? Like how could that be that many people, right? Well, it turns out there aren't that many people. Per data from last month, this is according to a person in reply, there were 4 accounts with over 5,000 subscribers and 8 accounts, including the 4, with over 2,500 subscribers. So 4 people, including Elon, can save $20 a month, and 4 other people can save $10 a month. Yes, Elon, it should not be shocking to you that of the people who have over 5,000 subscribers, Elon Musk is one of those 4 people. Because if you are willing to pay Twitter and then also pay someone for exclusive tweets, you are probably giving that money to Elon Musk. And again, you should probably assume Elon Musk, not someone you need to hear private thoughts of, and also not someone that needs your money. But of course, you wouldn't be doing this if you're here. I'm saying the hypothetical you, not the actual you, the person that is watching my streams. Yes. So, this is, of course, to encourage people to have, what is this meant to do? Because this is just like nothing. This doesn't help anyone. This doesn't improve anything, right? It only perhaps would encourage some people to push for their followers to become subscribers, right? That are like close. Like, oh, I have like 1,900. I have 1,900 people. Like, oh, I could get there, right? But really what it is it's retention. The goal is retention. This is a weird thing. It is adding another goalpost. It is hoping that, against hope, that people will stick around because the data shows, hey, people are leaving. Now, apparently there's data that shows that people aren't leaving. There is supposedly data, and they have that data. Apparently, according to X, they have data that says, hey, people are not leaving here in droves. They are not running away from this. Apparently, that data has not been presented, but trust them. You should just trust them. There's, that people are not leaving or are not just, reducing the amount of time they spend on the app or going to alternatives or whatever. No, clearly they're not doing that. They're still here. They're still here and they're still active. Source. Trust me, bro. Yes. So that was our Twitter update. That felt important to do on occasion, to just give that update, just look in and see what's going on there. We're going to get into some not great and pretty great gaming stuff, but before we get into the gaming things and things, it is important that we do another related to what we were talking about, because we were talking about Twitter, so we should do a related story. Thank you to New York Magazine. I want to see the person that did this investigation for New York Magazine. Thank you to John Herman, from contributing writer who covers technology at The Intelligencer. This is New York Magazine's Intelligencer section. 2 days ago, wrote this article entitled, or posted this article titled, "Who's Behind All the Pussy in Bio on X? I clicked all the way through so you don't have to." If you have not posted anything in the zeitgeist, or that even commented on the zeitgeist, you may be unaware that the bots have been just, there are so many bots. There are so many bots. Elon said that he was going to get rid of the bots, and then he didn't. And then he has said various things like, it's harder and we're working on it and we're not losing the war, and various other nonsense things of oh God. We can't, we're trying so hard, bro. It has been, of course, unable to fight them. These bots want you to go to their bio, their bio. They want to go, to their page and see their profile. And they want you to click on their profile. And you get sent to a bunch of random sites, right? And then you might have thought, this is like trying to present themselves as a person. Maybe it's a fake page on a site that isn't OnlyFans. There's one of the smaller OnlyFans things. Maybe it's just like, we found some photos in Google image search and we're creating these fake profiles. But apparently, when you go through all of it and you look everywhere, so you get some sign up processes and weird things, and they promise you there are a bunch of things coming, and you have to answer all these things, and you get all these XCOS links. They lead to provocative neighbors. That's where the thing ends. And provocative neighbors is a dating website, but it is a fantasy dating website because you are not talking to real people, or what this should say, you are talking to contracted employees pretending to be other single people, pretending to be other users of the site that you are being connected to, but they are, of course, people who are being paid to talk to you. Assuredly not well, or fairly. But yes, so, but the thing that I love the most about this article, right, is that apparently they must have gotten hit at some point, because provocative neighbors is just like, hey, here's the deal. You also understand that this is a fantasy entertainment service, and that the profiles are fictional, and your interactions with will be with operators. So they literally are like, hey, this shit's fake. This is not a real thing. So you should make sure you know that. We do not conduct background or criminal record checks on users or verify their identity, and you accept all risk of interacting with people via the service, on or off the service. Yes, Aristophan, back in the day, you did have to call an 900 number. Users that check the pussy and bio stuff, you do that. You actually click the bio. You go through this. We're just going to go through. You bounce through a series of redirects, fake dating sites. Eventually, you reach provocative neighbors. You decide to sign up, and you start talking with another member, and that is an operator who gets a somewhat payment, a portion of the profits of what you have given this site. And it's these are referred to again. Apparently, this is a new term to me. I did not know this term. Apparently, these types of services or these types of sites are referred to as flirt sites because that's kind of the vibe of it. That's apparently what they were referred to as. You learn something new every day. Luring new users with misleading ads on low-rent websites. Now a few of them appear to be staying one step ahead of the folks at X, blanketing the global town square, that's in quotes, in pornographic flyers while the world's richest man shakes his fist at the sky. One of the things about provocative neighbors that's interesting, not only because they put that disclaimer in there, but also because we know who they are. They are a Dutch company. They're owned by a Dutch company called Meteor Interactive, and they specialize in discrete payments and entertainment platforms. That is what they say. Found us on your bank or credit card statement and did not recognize it? Read why this happens, which is what's on their web. So, yeah, so you spent some money on something there, then that means somebody with access to your bank account, you or your partner perhaps, used a site and it comes up as Meteor Interactive. So if you ever seen Meteor Interactive on a bank statement, you might need to have a conversation with someone. And that someone might be yourself. Apparently, they have owned other things, including womenwithsecrets.com, which is such a fucking... Look, if you don't know what you're getting with womenwithsecrets.com, you gotta do a lot more soul searching than you have ever begun to do. If you were like, I was tricked. I did not get what I thought I was getting with womenwithsecrets.com. Let's see. 2022 BBC investigation. Hell yeah, we're getting other people's research that they did on this scenario. The company found that Meteor Interactive BV uses an outsourcing company to recruit, train, and staff overseas workers, some of whom stick to their scripts and collect commissions, while others appear to use customer information gleaned from chats in the service of off-platform scams carried out on Telegram, WhatsApp, SMS, and the good old-fashioned telephone. So that's why they have part of their disclaimer saying like, hey, we are not liable for any of the shit that happens to you after, this because of this. And that's because some of the people that they trained are in it to not just scam you through Meteor Interactive. They're also there to scam you in their own scams based on the information they have gotten you to say in a chat room, which sucks. I mean, that just sucks. I'm not going to be like, you deserve it. But like, don't. Let's see. Company was founded in 1999, and they apparently in the Netherlands, one of the reasons they are in the Netherlands, they do not have to disclose how much money they make, apparently. But But yeah, that's it. I mean, there's no like, and that's how they get you stuff here. It, you know this because you are watching the stream and you are in some way, shape, or form educated in some manner of internet best practices. You understand that, oh yeah, I shouldn't I shouldn't go to this person's bio. That's not a real person. I shouldn't click on their bio to see where it leads. It There was a period where sometimes people were like, "Oh, well, I'm going to see like what they're teasing me with because that's kind of interesting." It's just like, bro, there's so much pornography. There's pornography you just will never see in your life. Like you don't need to like follow a bad link to see what's out there. Like, it's okay. You'll find it. You'll find it. It's cool. I believe in you. But yeah, speaking on that a little bit, I will just say that I think that I am always surprised when people fall for obvious scams. But like I don't know. An example. You may have seen on social media that Amazon had a couple movies there, like a couple like HD movies you could just get for free. You just get them for free. They were marked as free and you could just get them. And people were like, what's going on? And some people were like, oh, check this out. Like people that do deal pages were like, look at this. And people were like, this seems like, what is this? Is it collecting my email, but I already have an Amazon account? What's going on here? What is this? And the answer is, and it's not too hard to figure this out. It was an error. And if you ordered those movies, they fixed it. Same thing. There was a glitch in the matrix of Amazon where you could order like which was it? Which one was it? The paperweights, the Kindle paperweights, where it was like only for shipping. And I remember a few years ago, I was like, well, if it gets in the mail before they figure this out, then it won't get canceled in the mail and I'll get it. And so I was like, I know that this is an error and I probably won't get this, but I'll try anyway. And then, yeah, I got caught before it shipped. It did not go through shipping. Those things happen. I'll say this. I did fall for an Amazon scam not too long ago. And my only defense on falling for this unbelievably, incredibly obvious scam. Oh, actually, we're not done with this. Was that it was late at night. Like I was very tired. I had not been sleeping well. And I saw this thing that seemed too good to be true. And it was for a USB mic very similar to this. Actually, leading to my purchase of this was that mic. And it wasn't that the item itself was cheap. There was a discount code that basically made it free. It only ended up being a couple dollars. And I'm sure, because I'm saying it out loud, you understand that was not real, right? That was not real. The code existed. The item probably exists. That seller was not a real seller. That seller was collecting as much information as they could. They were collecting shipping information, right? Because you got to go and you got to put your shipping information in. It's a third party through Amazon. They don't care that they go away. They don't care that they burn some stuff. It's fine. If people don't dispute the charge of like $3 for their, they're not going to steal credit card information or anything like that, but they are getting your shipping address or wherever you were going to deliver it to. And maybe not everyone is going to charge back the $3, and then eventually Amazon will charge back everything. And it was one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, I completely fell for that. I got very excited about getting a cool, and it was like, it wasn't one of those things where like, it wasn't even somebody I knew sent it to me. It was somebody that I like a lot, retweeted it, and was like, "Oh, this is a cool deal," and I was like, "Oh yeah, that is a cool deal. All right, yeah, sure." And it should have occurred to me, this is definitely a scam. This is definitely not legit. That did not occur to me. And of course, I didn't get the item, and then eventually put up this microphone on my wish list because I was like, I actually was thinking it would be really cool to have something like this, and then luckily, it got purchased off my wish list, which is very kind. Dirty says, "Hey, Dirty, we no longer have access to corn in Texas as we've been IP blocked because the folks in Austin make bad decisions." Obviously, Dirty, that's not Austin's fault. That is your state legislature and your governor. Because Texas is among the many states in this country. Many is too hyperbolic. Is among the few states getting towards several. Because I believe Texas is now one of 4 states, with 2 other states closely falling behind, that are enacting legislation that, and of course there's also moving up through just general stuff. But basically, because they don't think it's going to work on a federal level, states are putting in protections, and of course that protection is protecting minors by. Of course, I'll get into this. I'm saying these things, but I will follow through on what I'm saying about them. Is that right? Yeah, is this right? I think this is right. The idea being that the states are protecting children by making websites that contain adult material have to do age verification, and because so they're not outright banning pornography, they're just they're demanding that businesses do age gates, and the solution to that is they're not going to do that, so businesses are just going to instead block the IPs of states. Does that also mean that if your IP and also IPs are not necessarily always and all the time state-based, so you could be living near a state and still have your IP blocked on numerous websites. And of course, there are going to be some businesses that just aren't going to do that because they don't give a shit, that aren't going to block it, there are going to be businesses that do put up age gates. And of course, when I say protecting children, I mean punishing people, not children. This does not protect children, because they and these age gates also need some sort of identification, often to prove what you were saying, not just I'm 18, because those used to be there. No, this is like, maybe you don't want your ID and you don't want to use a third party that doesn't keep your data and and can click all these other things, because you don't want to end up on a state-run watch list. But really, these things are meant to punish people. They are meant to punish just everyday folks of all shapes and sizes. People definitely want to send pictures of their license to porn sites. Yes, of course they do. Of course they know that. The people that are making this know that, because they're saying, well, I just can't believe that it's such a controversial take to want to protect children. And it's like, yeah, but we know you're not doing this to protect children. You're doing this to pursue a puritanical idea, to make people have to break the law so you could then punish them. Or another idea, certainly, that has been floated out there as a particular reason for all of this could be the vague notion of what adult material is. Like Tumblr contains adult material on the web. So that's in breach of it, right? But it's like, is that an adult-oriented site? No, but it might contain material. So you got to take care of that. Twitter shouldn't be able to use Twitter in Texas but you will be able to. So don't worry about it. But you shouldn't be able to, because that should be under the grounds of being a website that is on the no-no list. There are a bunch of other things, because you're also like, okay, well, what is pornographic? And then, hey, guess what? I'm not saying this is in Texas. I'm saying this is definitely in several states that are doing this. Well, guess what? Guess what's bad for children? What's dangerous to children, according to these state legislatures? Homosexuality. Blanket statement. Homosexuality. Blanket statement. Not sex acts of any nature that involves homosexuality. No, homosexuality has been deemed in several states to be harmful for children. So any website that has homosexual anything, therefore must be age gated. Because the idea of, and does that mean Wikipedia? Can you just block Wikipedia? Because Wikipedia has information. Encyclopedia Britannica website, because it's got information on that. Medical textbooks that talk about it, is that going to be banned? And the answer is, yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Because of course, this is all indeed to protect people from themselves. They want to protect children. And is this to make people who are so fucking desperate for any sense of community be terrified? Of course. It is to punish people for their behavior and for who they are as people. It is a misguided, obviously, and also clearly they know that and don't care, attempt to make people be repressed and hidden. They know that it won't fix anything. They know it won't protect children, because that's not how that works. Because what they are thinking they are protecting children from, or saying they are protecting children from, is certainly bullshit, and they know that, and it doesn't matter that they know that, and it just fucking it sucks. For freedom of expression, it is, and the thing is, because it is using the tact of children, in the same way that you're like, well, like MasterCard can't. MasterCard has the right to not want to work on these websites, these adult-oriented websites, because of sex trafficking, which of course has nothing to do with online purchases. But if you say, well, I'm against what this is and what they're doing here, and free market and all of that, you're saying, well, you support human trafficking and sex trafficking? It's like, well, obviously I don't support that. But also, that's not what we're talking about. But that is your, well, hey, and you know that. People know that when they use that talking point. They are aware of that. That obviously, I'm against human trafficking. But having an OnlyFans page is not human trafficking. Or taking money from your PayPal for anything is not human trafficking. It's not connected. People that do human trafficking don't use their credit cards. Yeah. It's a nightmare. I did not expect to be talking about that tonight, but it was brought up in chat, and kind of sometimes got to talk about this stuff. We have two options for our shield that goes on our shield. We're going with this one. I'm not going to do both of them. You could do both of them on your own time. But yeah, it is it's a goddamn nightmare out there. And it is, if it goes through on a Senate, like on a House level, which it is one of the few bipartisan things that people seem real riled up about, it could theoretically have a devastating effect on the internet. And if you think that They will not. A thing that a lot of people say is like, well, you just get a VPN and then it's fine. The thing that I will tell you is that right now there's only so much money in it. Eventually, they will make it harder for you to do that. Yes, VPNs can be snitches because they want to operate in various territories. They want to make money. But also, like, right now, VPNs are a workaround because they are a workaround because not enough people have put money into being mad at them. But that is not a permanent solution to your issues. Also, you shouldn't fucking have to. Obviously, you shouldn't fucking have to. You shouldn't have to get a VPN so that you can use your internet like fucking normal. Shouldn't be a thing you need to worry about. You should be able to just do whatevs. Not worry about that shit. All right. We got our shield done. We got our weapon done. Our gun done. We're now our gun done. We're now going to work on the flyer, which also is the backpack. So we'll get going on that. In video game news, we'll talk some video game news. We'll try to keep things a little light here. I got a sticker. I got this piece of plastic that I have to fully cover in stickers because they didn't give us a clear piece for this cockpit. They just gave me 3 stickers, which I knew, but still. The gun is done. You're right, Lord Crescent. Hey, MLB The Show is apparently a fucking mess. And there was an update that came out that didn't fix that. It made it worse. And by worse, I do actually mean better because they accidentally made big head mode. In many modes, shit just looks real bad in MLB The Show. You should look on Twitter for it. Basically, like, hey, it's spring season started. Baseball's up. Hey, on the negative, on the obviously, like, this sucks for everybody negative side, there are plenty of issues where it freezes and crashes, and that sucks. And I'm not trying to say that doesn't suck, but I am saying that it's very fucking funny that sometimes characters are just small. They're just too small, or their head is very big, or parts of their head are very big and the other parts are very small. And it's kind of unbelievable. Big heads and little bodies. Let's see. Apparently there have been issues on Switch, and the update caused even more problems. Let's see. Somebody said, the guy that makes tiny body, big head graphics on Instagram definitely hacked MLB The Show. That is an Instagram account that takes people's photos and then makes people have tiny heads and big bodies. Sometimes they don't make their head any smaller. They just make the body way bigger, which I've also enjoyed. But yeah. So if you are one of the people dealing with that, my apologies. You spent full price, and then sometimes they're just heads, just you can't see them anymore, or their faces are all scrunched up, and it looks like someone is doing a bad Photoshop job to make fun of the person. My apologies, and I hope they. Also, the next patch they have coming out won't fix this. The next patch they have coming out is to fix other problems. So it might be a long time before MLB The Show 24 is looking good. Hopefully it works out. Maybe you're not seeing it. Let's see. Video game news. So I'm going to talk about a positive thing. And in chat, you might say, well, did you see this part that's negative? I know the negative part. I'll get to the negative part. Sometimes, y'all, I think I'm cooking. I think that I've got hey, here's this thing, and here's this thing, and here's the kicker. And I'm going to give you the kicker. And chat is like, hey, but what about this part? And it's the kicker. And I'm like, yeah, I was going to get there. So let me tell you. I'm going to talk about a good thing that happened in video games. A bad thing also happened in video games with the same company because they're a global brand. I know. Sega workers got their goddamn union going. The Allied Employees Guild Improving Sega. Aegis. They're 150 members strong. And that is less than when they were starting out, because as this union was trying to get things together, made up of temporary and full-time employees across multiple departments. So this is not just QA, because a lot of times things have been stopped because it's like, well, these are inner departments. This doesn't make sense. No, this is a bunch of people at Sega, 200 employees at the time coming together. Layoffs happened. During those layoffs, apparently, because it was during these negotiations, some people didn't get laid off. Some jobs got saved. And the people who did get laid off had better benefits than they would have had otherwise. So even before it was an official recognized union, they were already doing some cool goddamn necessary work, which rules. It fucking whips ass. 150 voted to ratify the contract. Representing the union told Aftermath that it proves a collective bargaining contract with substantial improvements and protections is possible, even when management takes a hostile stance towards workers organizing. Because, of course, those layoffs happened while the workers were trying to negotiate. So their contract now takes cause protections, layoff protections. Just cause protections and layoff protections, because reminder, Sega in the United States is based in California, which is a state that basically says you don't need a just cause to fire people. You can just fire people whenever. And their thinking behind that, their foolish thinking behind that is like, well, that also means that there are no repercussions if you just quit your job. Like, you don't have to give notice and you don't have to do anything. You could just at any time quit, which is like, cool. That's still a power imbalance, my guy. It's still a unbelievable power imbalance doing that, but sure. So it will protect from those. Commitment to crediting everyone who has ever worked on a video game. So actually enforcing the idea of crediting people who worked on the game, a thing that feels like it should be a no-brainer, but unfortunately is not a goddamn no-brainer. Commitment to a hybrid work model for at least the next 6 months. So this is not keeping, because they are trying to protect people that do want to work from home, whereas Sega, like most companies, want people to come back into the office to justify having the big office. So they're trying to protect that. Consistent raise for every worker in the union, advance notice on labor-related policy changes, and any use of AI that could impact employees, and codifying of an annual bonus plan, retirement benefits, health insurance, parental benefits, and bereavement leaves. This is all really fucking fantastic shit. They fought hard for a lot of incredibly necessary stuff. And it whips ass. Now, having said that, the same company that we are talking about here, Sega, which now has a 150 person union in America, laid off a bunch of people in Europe, Sega Europe, which obviously Sega America, Sega Europe don't communicate all the time. This is not a This is not retribution, as I've seen some people say, like, oh, well, your labor actions have a direct impact on other people. Don't you care about these other people? And it's like, well, one, that doesn't. That's not related at all. And two, this is in Europe, and not every country in Europe has this, but a lot of countries in Europe are way better off in times of layoffs. They are protected way more than we are here in the United States. This is not a universal thing. Again, this is not all of Europe. This is not every European country, but those protections are there in many countries, far exceed what we have here. So, in some instances, being laid off isn't good, but because also Relic is being sold off. So 240 workers got laid off, and Relic Entertainment. So basically, Relic is being sold to a private investor, so that they are being sold to somebody, so they are independent, but they did not buy out. So not everyone was part of that got sold. Some of them were retained that would have theoretically been retained by Sega, instead got laid off, which sucks. I'm not going to say it doesn't suck. And also, Relic is still going to be working on Company of Heroes 3 and its next update, and then eventually we'll stop doing that. Sega shares of Relic were transferred to a holding company that is to be newly established by UK investment company Emona Capital. They are, and so obviously this isn't the best news for many people. It is good news in some ways. It is bad news in other ways. I am not trying to make light of it, but it was important to say. Whereas on one hand, Sega employees making it happen for themselves. On the other hand, good for Relic. Hopefully good for Relic in the long term. In the short term, a bummer. And those bummers also include people who used to be part of sorry, let me find the story here. Gearbox, right? Because Embracer sold Gearbox and Borderlands let's see, to Take-Two. So there was plenty of talk about Gearbox working on options. There were discussions of that internally. You may remember me doing my Randy Pitchford impression, where he was talking about oh, thank you so much for being so interested in everything we do and blah, blah, blah. Because there had been conversations about how, hey, y'all are trying to buy yourself out, right? Or sell or get yourself sold. And they didn't have any comment on that. That wasn't bullshit nonsense. But the actual situation is that, Take-Two bought Gearbox. This is, and apparently there's another Borderlands game coming. Take-Two acquired Borderlands franchise and its spin-off series Tiny Tina's Wonderland, as well as Homeworld, Risk of Rain, Brothers in Arms, and the Duke Nukem series. So now Take-Two owns Duke Nukem. Studio acquired by Take-Two are Gearbox Software Mothership in Frisco, Texas, as well as Gearbox Montreal and Gearbox Studio Quebec. They did not get Gearbox Publishing, which was a publishing brand. There's also, Gearbox was in charge of some other companies for Embracer. That didn't move. And then there were massive layoffs at Gearbox Publishing because I don't know why there were layoffs. So the folks that did not go over there did get laid off, which obviously sucks. But those layoffs probably would have come anyway, which is small comfort, I'm sure. Let's see. Gearbox Publishing San Francisco, which will be renamed. They're basically going to rename it, and they don't, they did a bunch of layoffs there, and we don't know what's going to happen with that. Because they have to rename it because they can't call it Gearbox Publishing. They also have the rights to Remnant and Hyper Lightbreaker, Cryptic Studios, which make Neverwinter Online and Star Trek Online. And then Lost Boys Interactive and Captured Dimensions, who are support studios that were under the Gearbox umbrella. Those companies are still remaining with. They're still those companies still remain. They are still embraced. They have not escaped the embrace. Yes, Toolbox Publishing, sure. It's like Gearbox, but it's not Gearbox. It's messy. All of this is messy. Though Gearbox Publishing San Francisco is still under Embracer, the company confirmed to Polygon that it has laid off an unspecified number of employees not tied to the development of Gearbox games. So, hey, you're not leaving the company. And then, of course, Take-Two could also lay off a bunch of Gearbox, right? Like, this is not necessarily saving them. I don't think any job in games is, like, fully, like, free of this risk. I think it's all possible. But Embracer selling off studios instead of closing them and shuttering them, is better. I don't want to say is good, but it is better than the alternative. Certainly. Sales of Big Rocks One's Prime's asset. Next step, deep cutting costs. Yeah. Okay. And of course, Saber also, Saber Interactive, you may remember, they got bought out by the owners. So they purchased their freedom. The founder, Matthew Karch, bought back Saber Interactive and several subsidiaries, but didn't take all of them, basically. And also maybe they could get Zen Pinball. The Zen Pinball people. But they lost the rights to the Metro games, or they never had them because of the shenanigans and the deals and stuff. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with them. And then let's see. Fail Better Games, who you may know for Fallen London, was basically like, and Sunless Sea, which was a huge hit. Sunless Sea was a very big hit for them. You may know them from those games. Basically, they're like, I think it was a GDC talk, maybe. Basically talking about Mask of the Rose. They posted this. They made a post of this. It didn't sell particularly well. The post reads. Fail Better. So we didn't expect to make back the money we spent developing it. Oh, yeah, we're doing all right. So basically, the gist of it is they were like, we made a bunch of money making a video game. It did, because it did very well. And then we didn't spend all of that money, like staffing up and building out and buying, boats or whatever. And then this next game came out and it's not doing that great and it's not super well received. And we probably won't make our money back on it. But that doesn't mean the studio has to close because we didn't spend all of the money from the game that did well. And it's like, That shouldn't be news, but it's cool as hell. Good on ya. Great job, fail better. Because they're focusing on sustainability. In that situation, the expectation nowadays is that you hire aggressively. Perhaps at a tech particular, being profitable isn't seen as enough. A good company is one with a plan to vastly increase the value of its business, preferably at least tenfold. Some companies take a lot of risk doing that. Yeah. Because again, at the end of the day, those big risks, if they fail, the people at the very top it doesn't affect them. It's the people on the ground floor that gets affected by that. So, makes a lot of sense. Makes a whole lot of sense. All right, I got to put this on somewhere here, maybe. I don't know where you go. I don't know how this feeds together. I don't know how this works. I think maybe that goes there, and then this will go on like that. Is that right? Oh, no, because I got to do... Oh, I got to fold this out. And then this... I got it now. This goes in here, everybody. And then this piece goes on here and locks that in. And then there's a sticker, 2 stickers that have to go on. But I'll wait on that. And then actually that didn't snap together. So I'm like, oh, there we go. And then I just need to put on the 2 stickers that I don't have on yet. And I'll get those on in a second. All right, yeah. And then there's more effect parts that have to go on here. And we'll get to that. But we will get to all of that after our pause for the cause. That's right, folks. Now's the part of the stream where I talk to you, directly to you, about ways you can support the channel if you are inclined to do so. Everything I'm about to talk to you about here is optional. You are under no obligation to do any of these things. But if you would like to, that would be great for me. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber to the Build with Bear Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. Got your Amazon linked with your Twitch. You get that token. You use it on anyone. Why not use it on me? You could gift a sub to somebody in the community like Firestar Man and Aristofan and Giant Frank Pan did. Bits and coins are always appreciated. You could do that anonymously as well. You could become a subscriber like Aristofan did, which is awesome. Thank you very much, Aristofan, for renewing your subscription today. But yeah, subscribing, that's like legitimately the easiest way to support what I do here. There are other ways to do that, but that one is like the top tier, easiest. And I'm going to go through those. And again, optional. You don't have to do any of these things. And we'll go through them pretty fast so we can get into the good stuff, which is talking about anime and working on this model kit. So I have a Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. See if that's something you want to do. Right now, the latest post on there is me asking for questions for my monthly Q&A. And you can still get a question in because I got one. I'm waiting for at least 1 to 2 more. But I do have one question to answer. And that's the only exclusive content I do is those Q&As. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Over there it's free to subscribe. Please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. And while you're there, consider becoming a member, if that's how you'd like to go. For just $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos a day early. So that's kind of nice. You get a little treat there. And those are monthly ways to support me. But there's also, I got a PayPal account. I got a Ko-Fi. You could make a donation there. Everything I make through direct donations, through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. Out of that fund, I pull money and I buy model kits. I bought this kit with your generosity, past you, helping out present me. So I bought this kit that we're working on right now, that we're working on the Core Fighter for, / backpack. So I was able to build that, or I was able to buy that, and now I'm building it. And I have a backlog of stuff to build. I know what I'm building next. That's already been decided. But if you want to buy something for me to build, if you want to build something, you should build model kit. Go ahead. But if you want to buy something for me to build, you can go to my Amazon wish list. I have Lego sets, model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits that never go on sale, kits that are on sale right now and are decently priced. If you saw this kit and you were like, what if you built the Build Strike Exceed Galaxy Gundam, which is kind of similar to this, Pat, but even more neon bullshit. And it's an entry grade with neon. I'll build that if you bought it. But I got all different kinds of stuff in there that I'd be happy to build. See if there's something there you'd like to see me put together. And there's some gear, because it's always nice to have gear options. So yeah, see it's in there. My alternative to Amazon is Throne. I got a Throne wish list because it's always nice to have options. Because people like alternatives to Amazon. It's nice to have. And the most convoluted way to support me, go to USA Gundam Store, buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store. I will take that gift card code. I will use it. You got to whisper me on Twitch or send me a DM on Twitter with the gift card code. But I will use that gift card code to buy a model kit. And you can even make a suggestion if you want to do that. If you want to support me and not spend any money, I'm trying to get through this so fast so we can get back to the model kit building. Join me on my Discord. It's free. It's a nice little place. Good people there. Pat Bear's Anime Club. On Tuesday, I recorded what will be the next episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. That's going live on my YouTube channel on Monday. But right now, I have one where I'm looking at live-action anime adaptations that I think are good. It's a positive video. There's a little bit of hate in that video, but it's mostly positive. And then Kuma Baer. Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation short. It appears on various social media platforms. This was the YouTube link because that is the one that I could theoretically make a couple pennies if you watched it. But yeah, please check that out. I am talking about the wonderful subtext as text anime New Game, the slice of life comedy series about young ladies working at a game developer, just trying to make a video game and learning as they go and learning about each other. It is nerdy and dorky and cute and fun and gay. Excellent, better supporting New Game has a better supporting cast than some major anime main characters. It's filled with love. 2 seasons, an OVA that is not on Crunchyroll, so I didn't mention it, but you can find it somewhere out there if you really want, which is skippable but good. 2 seasons, great show, New Game. Watch my 60-second talk about it, and then watch that anime. Speaking of anime, I got a deep dive in talking to you about 2 shows as we get into the 12th episodes of those shows. I'm going to be putting stickers on. I'm going to be talking about that anime. In order to do that, I have to drink some water. We're going to get into that right now as we dramatically transition to our overhead camera and then get back to model kit building right now. All right. I'm going to apply some stickers here and talk to you about the 12th and final episode of Villainess, level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the demon lord. Which is just, hey, turns out the anime that I like had an ending that I didn't hate, which is always nice when that happens. So, the hero's party and Yumiella, who I should stress again, because this is based on a video game world, but this is quote-unquote the real world. Yumiella was not supposed to be part of the hero's party. She is supposed to be the final boss. She's supposed to be the bonus minion that you did not know was going to be involved, but then is involved, and you're like, oh shit, now I have to fight Yumiella? Oh no, she was evil this whole time. This character who was just like annoyingly evil turns out to be very evil. And connected to all this, I need stickers 23 and 18, and I don't know which ones those are, so hold on. This is 23. 23 is this big sticker. Okay. We're going to cover up all of this with a big old sticker. So, yeah, they approach the Demon Lord's castle because now they can. They're in the part of the video game where they can approach the Demon Lord's castle. So they're on their way to do it. It's everybody together. They might not be fully leveled and ready to do it. She's clearly still very overpowered, so it hopefully won't be a problem. And then I need to find sticker 18. All right, 9, 10, 14, 12, 18. Oh, sticker 18, okay. And where does sticker 18 go? Oh, it goes over here on the vents. Okay. Got it. And then this folds underneath. And then, yeah, okay. Great. So we got one part of this done, this was step 36. Okay. And that's going to go into this here. Okay. I'm going to get this all assembled. Then I'm going to panel line it. Okay. So they're going to face the Demon Lord. Before they went in, Patrick, who is leading the other students in their fight against the monsters that arose. There, a bunch of monsters showed up because the Demon Lord controls them, and they're going to attack the country. But Yumiella sent. Well, they rode on Ryu, the fun dragon, and then Yumiella is like, "Hey, go back up Patrick," and he gave her a amulet of protection. She has never used that amulet before, but he's like, "Hey, I know you're very strong. Just like for me, it would be great if you wore this." And she's starting to understand, because now she at least understands his feelings towards her, that even though she knows, I'll be fine. She's like, "Oh yeah, all right, I'll wear that." Yumiella, yes, okay. The monsters army is very piss poor looking CGI skeletons. They look bad. This show, when it has to have monsters, it unfortunately has monsters that don't look great, sadly. And that is the case in this episode as well. Let's see. They get surprised. They fight. They walk right into the Demon Lord's castle. They don't really have to do much. They find the Demon Lord. He surprises them and takes out a couple of them. But Yumiella fights that off very easily. And basically, the Demon Lord one-shots just about everyone. And they're hurt, but they're alive. But he can't do anything to Yumiella. And he's just like, what's happening right now? What's going on here? Do you even know what this is? And we get a story. We get a not so tragic, kind of tragic story that this kingdom was founded and he was a loyal knight, but because of his power, he was falsely accused and banished, and they tried to kill him. And he was so pissed off at the king for what the king was involved in, and he was so mad about what happened that he gave in to his dark nature, and he became the Demon Lord. And now he wants to destroy the kingdom and the world. And he's been plotting because he got sealed. They couldn't defeat him, but he got sealed by the first hero and the first Saintess. And this information is news to everyone except Yumiella, because this is, of course, based on a video game that she played a lot of. So she's just like, oh, yeah. She didn't say, oh, I know. So he tries to tempt her to joining him because she's like, you have dark hair as well. You must have been ostracized by these people, and they'll never accept you, and blah, blah, blah. And she's just like, no, I'm good. I have friends, people that care about me, and even these people have grown to accept me. So yeah, I don't think that's going to work out for you, bud. So, and then she goes, hey, how about instead you just disappear? What if you didn't do this, and instead of this bullshit, you just left, because the alternative is that I kill you. And he does not accept that. He does not accept her counter offer of, just get the fuck out of here, my guy, which he certainly should have, because they do battle, and she ends up defeating him. His last spell, he basically is like, oh, I'm going to die, ha ha ha, but his last ditch effort is to destroy the castle and destroy the hero's party, but thankfully, not as strong as Yumiella, but Alicia, the heroine, the main character of the game this is based on, she is able to use her holy powers to stop what's happening. Everyone's just like, Yumiella, you defeated him. And she's like, we all did it together. Because remember, that Yumiella does not want to take credit for this. She would love to just slip into the background. And because it would be annoying for her to be like, instead of the heroine. So she's just like, oh no, we all did it together. And it's only because of Alicia's healing, light magic. And everyone's just like, oh no. And they're starting to try to convince her like, no, this is because of you. When Alicia stabs Yumiella through the fucking heart. And her eyes are all weird like they were previously when she was taken over by fate or the plot of the game. Because occasionally the plot, we've seen this in a couple times in the story where the supposed plot carries her along and she has no control over what's happening. She did not mean to stab Yumiella. Because after you defeat the Demon Lord, you have to defeat the hidden boss. So the game world, Fate, as I would call it, they're not calling it Fate, but I think Fate is a good explanation of what's going on here. Fate is like, nah, now's the time where you got to kill the hidden boss. You got to do this. She won't come to. She has no control over what's happening. Thankfully, the rune of protection that Patrick insisted that our girl wear is protecting Yumiella. So Yumiella is okay. And Yumiella is like, how do I defeat her without killing her? Because I don't want to do that. Like, what can I do? And I will say this. I didn't know how they were going to get out of this. It's kind of fucking ingenious, her decision on how to solve it. She encourages the boys to they're like, hey, this is a curse. She's been cursed by the Demon Lord. She's got to snap out of it. Encourage her to snap out of it. And the boys start talking to her, saying oh, you could do this, you can stop it, and you're so great, and then Prince Edwin says, and I love you. And it's a love confession. And it snaps her out of it. Because the plot has moved on. It has moved past the part where the hidden boss needs to die. And we have jumped to the part in the story where the hero, the heroine, I should say, ends up with one of the love interests, which in this case is the prince. So her grand solution to solving her problems was just to have, just to move on with the story. And it was certainly a gamble, and it paid off because, yeah, we move on. Actually, I missed a sticker here, so I have to figure out what sticker this is. Sticker 14. Yes, okay. So this sticker needs to go on here. Sorry, everybody. I'll interrupt myself here so I could figure out where, I don't know where this goes. This is sticker 14. So it goes, is this a sticker 14? This is sticker 14, and that's going to be sticker 15 when that goes. Okay, so, this is one of those stickers that goes over here and bends, and I just have to figure out, oh, okay, so it bends it bends like this. I will say, if there's one thing I don't like about this kit is how many goddamn stickers there are on it. But yeah. That's what I was supposed to do with the sticker. I did that. And now we'll do it with the other side as well, eventually. So they just skip to the part where the love story happens. We just move past what was supposed to happen there. The curse is broken. over the closing theme, music plays. We get a little montage. There's the heroes party fight off a bunch of leftover CGI skeletons. And Yumiella just kind of lets the boys, they didn't really do anything in the fight, so that the boys are just kind of fighting the monsters, and just like everyone's working together, and she's just kind of like hanging back because she could just one-shot all the stuff, but she's like, so, she is starting to understand a little bit more about people, and she's like, oh yeah, they probably want to show off. And also, two of the boys are clearly also in love with her and aren't going to, with Alicia, and aren't going to end up with her, so they're mad. Patrick and Ryu show up. The monster army has been defeated. And then the opening theme plays as we see a parade for our heroes. And and one of the things I think was really neat is they pan over. Yumiella makes eye contact with the little boy with dark hair who she encouraged to never give up, trying to make friends, even though he has dark hair. And he's hanging out with the other boys they hung out with, who bonded over their mutual admiration for how cool magic is, which is just like a cute neat little scene. We see a montage of Yumiella enjoying her final year at the academy and talking about some stuff, and talking about the future, because she's got 1 year left. And then she is going to go and run the dukedom that she has taken over, or the countdom, or whatever, that she has inherited. And that's the end of it. That's level 99, Villainess level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the demon lord. Is this the best show of the season? No. Is it a very, to me anyway, interesting take on the Otome isekai? Yes. Yumiella is unique in that it is like her interactions, her dealings with what's happening in that world, I think are pretty different from the other entries in this subgenre. I think it's really fun. I wish that Ryu wasn't CGI. I wish the monsters that show up at the end weren't CGI. I can't win with some of these companies. I wish I could win with them, but unfortunately, no. But overall, I thought it was fun and cool. And also, hey, it's an anime where there's a character that is named Patrick, and I don't get a lot of that. I don't get a lot of Patricks in anime. So cool. Wind user with a spear is in love with the main character and actually gets her eventually to understand that he's in love with her. Pretty cool. Pretty cool anime. Now, over on our other villainous show from this that is not an isekai, but it is a time loop reincarnation story. 7th time loop. The villainess enjoys a carefree life married to her worst enemy. So, our villain of the story, Mikhail, who caused some issues in previous lives, announces that he has placed a bomb in town because he wants to show Arnold the power of black powder. Arnold is already interested in black powder. It's going to change the world. It's going to change the war efforts. It's going to be a nightmare. Come on, dude. Don't do this, but whatever. He knows where it is, or he has the bomb. But Reese knew what he was going to do. Because of her previous life experience. She knows where the bomb is going to be. She and Theodore turn the bomb into fireworks. Like, that's their plan, is to be like, well, look at this. Reese is trying to show Michelle, I should say, that just because black powder has destructive properties doesn't mean it has to be used for destruction. It can be used for nice things like fireworks, I said. It can be used for good. Arnold formally agrees to a treaty with the country that in previous lives he had conquered, which is great. Arnold is thinking, like, maybe he should just kill Mikhail in private. He's probably need to assassinate this dude. Um, but Reese is like, hey, here's the thing you didn't know. You know everything, Arnold. You didn't know this. That's the dude that made the pocket watch that you like so much. So he's too valuable to kill. Hopes that Arnold will eventually learn the same lesson as Mikhail and realize that his skills aren't only valuable for ending wars. That's basically like her big hope that she's kind of banking on. Reese gets her ring delivered, and she insists that Arnold put it on her, and he's like, what? This is a contract, though. Like, what? I don't... Fine. But turns out, he really liked this tender moment that they had. He really liked putting that there. He understands the significance of doing it. Because he's surprised to realize, this woman is really important to me. Like, it's only a couple episodes ago that he said, like, and of course, if you get in my way, then I'll eliminate you. And now he's starting to realize, he definitely did not mean that shit. Because he's like, oh, wow. Yeah, you wearing the ring makes me happy. Reese wants them to travel so that she can find other things that he will enjoy, because she is convinced that he'll be able to find things that he likes. But he's like, I already have you, but all right, I guess. And it kind of ends on the hope that she'll eventually be able to warm his heart even more, and he won't be in a position where he wants to go to war with every other country, which would inevitably lead to her death, and she can escape the loop, which is the whole thing that she's been trying to do the whole show, is make this the last one. And that's it. But yeah, she's hoping that there'll be more things, and she's got more ideas, and there are other characters that, she knew from previous stories, because this manga, I believe, continues on for quite a bit, and it's still going now. Is this a good ending to a 12-episode series? Not really. Our main villain, other than Arnold, our like antagonist that we had to deal with, the plot that we had to like uncover and fix, kind of came out of nowhere. He was only really introduced, I think, in episode like 9, maybe episode 10. And that's, I think, like, it was necessary for the story they were telling, but it feels incredibly rushed. So much of the second half of this series felt unbelievably rushed. Like, it was, and it's tough because the quiet moments are the ones that are really interesting, but you still want to have some kind of climax to end the series on, some kind of note to end it on. And it felt, like I said, it felt very rushed and kind of out of nowhere. I think the animation on this one was perfectly fine. It was totally adequate. I think the story is really cool. If and when more of this becomes available for the manga, available in English, I definitely want to check that out, because I had a really good time with this one. It was fun to have Villainous Night for the last 3 months, to have a night where I talked about, both of them, very different approaches to the main character being a villainess. I think that was fun to be able to talk about. So I don't know. I don't have a grand thought to end on this anime chat on, except I liked the series. It was not my favorite, but I thought it was pretty good. On Saturday, I will be catching up on some stuff. I'll let you know my thoughts on a few shows. I have not watched the last episode of Bravern. I am looking forward to watching the last episode of The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, so I might talk about that. There's a couple of shows that I need to finish up, so that'll kind of be like Sandland. Still haven't watched any Sandland. I have a Hulu right now. I have a Hulu account, or access to Hulu account right now, specifically to watch this Sandland. Maybe watch all of it, at least watch some of it. I don't know if I'll have that in time for Saturday. I also need to get through it because, god damn, I'm going to watch so much fucking wrestling next week. Like, I kind of love that there aren't a lot of, if I look at, I have also heard Lashbrook that fucking show goes places. If I look at the spring season and I look at what's starting, next airing episode. So, One Room starts soon. Let's look at stuff that is like 2 days, 3 days. Train to the End of the World is a show I might start. I don't know. That would be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so maybe I would talk about that on Monday. But I think that's the only one that's starting. Oh, yeah, Banished Former Hero Lives As He Pleases. That is a show that that's 3 days, 14 hours. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 14 hours. So that's next week. So I might talk about those next Thursday, but there's so much wrestling I'm going to be watching next week. Luckily, a lot of this stuff isn't starting until the following week. Because Laid Back Camp is in 6 days. 6 days, 11 hours, and we get Laid Back Camp. So that'll be great. That'll be that weekend. I'll have to get some anime time in, but it's a rough weekend next weekend for me. Weekend, because I got a lot of wrestling. No stream a week from Saturday, because that is night 1 of WrestleMania. And of course, I'll have my schedule up and talk about all that stuff. I actually have to make my schedule for next month. All right, we're almost done with this. I need to build the guns that will be on here, but also are the like jets for this. So I got to build all that up. Basically, we're going to use all of these parts here. H12 and H13. Get in there. So now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? Are you playing any video games? Are you watching any TV? Watching any sports that you watching college basketball? Are you watching baseball? Did you tune in for opening day, even though a couple of the games got canceled? Whatever. What's going on for y'all? What are you into? What are you doing? You know me. I'm playing Hearthstone. I'm playing Helldivers 2. I did D&D today, as I said, which was really fun. We don't often do Thursday afternoons, but we did manage to fit in some Thursday afternoon time. I was very happy about that because we haven't met in a little while, and we can't meet next week. So it was great to get together with my crew and talk and play some D&D stuff. My multiplayer people, the people I play multiplayer games with, the multiplayer crew that I am a part of, we are loving Helldivers 2. Some of us are playing Dragon's Dogma 2, and they've taken a Helldivers 2 break. Obviously not a multiplayer game in that sense, but a couple of them are real into that. So I'm happy for them, even though it's not necessarily a game for me. The group is tentatively excited about the new Marvel game that got announced. We are cautiously optimistic about Marvel Overwatch because we played a lot of together the original Overwatch, and we played some amount of Overwatch 2, but also all my homies hate Overwatch 2. Like, for real, no joke. My crew, not just me, because I'm the one that, I bounced off of Gundam Evolution, and some of my friends, some people in the crew, stuck with it. They stuck with it. They kept going. They eventually found the fun in it. But, a couple folks are just so into it. And we all collectively were like, Overwatch 2, no thanks, we're good. So if this game scratches that itch, we're gonna give it a shot. Now, it does sound like it's not some development issues happened in that game. Some people were not paid. Production apparently is pretty fraught on that game, so it could turn out to just be a big old goose egg. But we are cautiously optimistic that we might get ourselves an Overwatch 2 where we have some Marvel characters, which would be fun. So here's hoping. Here's hoping it turns out okay. It would be pretty great if it turned out to be all right. But I am still having fun with that. With the games that I play normally. I've got some great shit. Next Tuesday, I am going to be playing WWE 2K24 again. And by play, I mean running CPU versus CPU matches. We're going to decide a couple titles that we haven't decided yet. I believe the men's tag need to be decided. And we'll probably do like a ladder match and a bunch of other stuff. I've got a bunch of nonsense characters to throw in there. A ton of a wonderful, weird creator wrestlers, and a few creator wrestlers that are just good looking, because I found a community that uses the same hashtag to post, and they're attempting to do actually good looking models for creator wrestlers, which is really fun. Lashbrook says, I've heard, oh no, you talked about Bravern already. Ghost Valve finished up Bravern, continuing BoJack. Hell yeah, keep it going. Keep your enjoyment going to BoJack if you are. Got started on Transformers comics. Okay. IDW, Marvel. I mean, a bunch of companies have done Transformers comics. There's the ones that like are just trying to retell the cartoons. Oh, you're IDW at the moment. Okay. Yeah. Dream something or other. Dreamweave, something or other. There was a company that was doing them for a while. I only know the names. I don't know the content of them. The new Skybound run is wild. Oh, yeah? All right. Lastbrook says, I found out Freevee has a channel that just plays old Iron Chef. So I've watched a far bit of that. I forgot it was dubbed. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They dubbed the hell out of that. They dubbed... Here's the thing about... Here's the thing about those Iron Chefs. They didn't provide context. You know, it would have been kind of cool if they had like told you who the celebrities were. Who is Korn? Who is this entertainer? Is this a baseball player? Was this person a voiceover actor? What's going on? Who are these people? And they never really did that, to my recollection. Now, they might have, and I'm just not remembering that properly, but it always felt like, it's like, who are these people that are the judges? What is this? What's going on? And I always felt like there could have been some text added there, or voiceover. Lord Crashington played some Open Roads, which is pretty neat so far. Yeah. That game came out, huh? Open Roads came out. I mean, at a certain point, you got to put it out something, but I got to say, I'm a little surprised that game actually ended up coming out. But at a certain point, I guess you gotta. Last one says, Daniel Warren Johnson. I'm putting this on the wrong area. That's why this isn't working. Is doing a new run and a giant wrestling fan, so there's stuff in there like Optimus Prime doing a burning hammer. Hell yeah. That sounds fucking cool as hell, Ashbrook. Yes, Lord Crashington. Of course, fuck Steve Gaynor. Yes. Open Roads, you may remember, is the game that was originally a Fulbright game, and then they were like, the employees went to their publisher, Perna Interactive, trying to like Annapurna, I should say, not Annapurna. Annapurna trying to be like, hey, we need help with this, and their solution was like, well, you don't have to talk to him. They're like, that's not a solution, because that's, of course, they just want to make money, and even if they, have a reputation of being a certain vibe, they're still a business. And then eventually it's just like, yeah, the people that finished this game were people that worked on it, but not as Fulbright. So, Lostberg says they totally introduced the guests and their jobs. I just not recognize anyone so far. Okay. So yeah, my recollection was that they didn't spend any time, or maybe they didn't just do enough of a good job for me. And maybe now I would have a better understanding of like who some of these people could be if I watched it again now. But I also don't think I would. I think I would. I don't think I would watch the old weird dubs. I mean, maybe I would. Maybe I'll have them on, but I feel like I wouldn't. I wouldn't necessarily be interested in that, but I don't know. Maybe I'm being short-sighted, and I would love it. All right, we are almost done with this here. We have to assemble this, which we will now. And then we need to panel line these before we assemble it, because these guns, these slide out. These become underarm guns, which is not a great explanation, but you'll get it. We are definitely going to finish this. We might go a little over because we have the blue effects parts to put on, but I think that won't take too much time to put this all together. So I'm just going to do a quick panel line, quick and dirty panel line of this. Let's see. Is there any media or anything I'm watching? I mean, again, it's mostly wrestling. I still just watch a ton of wrestling. I'm very excited that Willow Nightingale is the #1 contender for the AEW TBS Championship. And also she's going to be at CMLL Wrestling. She's already in Mexico City for it. I want good things for her because she is a fantastic person and a great wrestler. And look, big gals don't get a lot of wrestling opportunities, unfortunately. Black girls do not get a lot of wrestling opportunities. Big black girls, I mean, off the top of my head, I can think of one. I really only can think of Awesome Kong. Who was in TNA, who briefly had a run in WWE as Karma, then went back to TNA, was like the women's wrestler who ended up being in the Netflix show, the Glow show, but I can't think of another, big black girl who. Or big black woman, I guess I should say, having the kind of career that Willow has. And she's just like a bubbly, lovely, hard-hitting, great wrestler. So for her to have the success she's having, so psyched about that. I don't think she's going to win the title at AEW Dynasty. Couldn't remember the name of that pay-per-view. I don't think she's winning the title there, but I mean, she might beat Julia for the belt. It'd be cool if she did. I don't think she's going to, but it'd be fucking cool if it happens. But she's in big time storylines, and that rules. I'm very, very, very happy for her. So here's the thing. Y'all, folks that have a casual understanding of wrestling, even folks that are just like, yeah, I follow wrestling, but I don't follow it that close. You might be aware that sometimes when a wrestler is close to retirement, or when a wrestler wants to change up their whole deal, they put their mask on the line. Generally, if you're wearing a mask, not always, but if you're wearing a mask in Mexican wrestling, you are a good guy. You are a technico. And rudos often do not wear masks. Now, there have been unmasked wrestlers who just live that life and they're good guys and wrestle as the good guys and all that. And there are people who wear masks and are heels and evil. But this is generalities. But if you are a masked wrestler and you get unmasked, that is usually a big deal and is often related to your retirement. Now, it doesn't have to be, but it can be related to your retirement. But it is a big deal. There are times where you can convince the Mexican committee which is just like honestly informal. It's a bunch of old Mexican wrestlers. You can approach the Mexican Lucha Committee and you can say, for this event, I would like to wear my mask again. And sometimes they say no. Famously, Rey Mysterio said, hey, I'm going to this company. I'm going to WWE. I'm going to represent Lucha for them. I would like to put my mask back on. I did lose my mask in a match, but I was not happy with that. It was not in Mexico. I would like to put my mask on. And he lobbied for it and got approval with the understanding that this would be big for Lucha in general. That Rey Mysterio being in WWE would be a big deal. And so they agreed to it. Blue Panther, the legendary Blue Panther, is going to be wrestling in a 6-man match in CMLL this weekend. And he has asked for and has received permission to wear his mask for the match. He's not returning to wearing the mask full time. He is not a full-time wrestler. He will be wearing the mask because it is a special occasion, mainly because Daniel Bryan is just a wrestling nerd and always wanted to wrestle and is going to wrestle. It's an 8-man. What am I saying? It's an 8-man because he's going. But yeah, he's going to wrestle, and the request came in, so now Blue Panther in mask is going to wrestle Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson. And it's wild and weird. That is just a cool bit of news. And it's always an interesting thing. They started, AAA started doing a thing. It's like a one-night event where wrestlers who have been unmasked can put their mask back on for one night only. And then the end of the night, they have to take all the masks back off and put them back in a treasure chest. And it's like one of the best attended shows. And it's the show that old people are going to go to because they're like wrestlers they grew up with are going to put the mask back on for one night. And it's like a really cool way to honor folks and then also make a ton of money because that's wrestling. You gotta make that money. All right, so I'm going to take a photo of this here and then we will put it all together. I will say, as far as the core fighters go, this one looks pretty fucking rad. I gotta say, looks pretty goddamn good. And then we're going to turn it into a backpack. I got to go all the way to these pages to do it, but we'll put it in the backpack. Laura Grashton says, I've seen highlights of Sky Blue matches lately, and she seems to be doing some cool stuff these days. Yeah, Sky Blue and Julia Hart got better. They came into the business, they came into AEW at the start of their careers, and through the weird and wacky concept of working hard for a long time and training really hard, they have both improved. And that's been great. But Sky Blue has really, being a heel has really helped Sky Blue open up her, the moves she can do and her style of wrestling, and has been really good for her, I will say. Julia Hart's been able to add character, which is great. I think I read that Sky had more matches than anyone on the roster last year. So that might have been 2022. Maybe it was 23. One thing you have to remember is that, Red Velvet is going to have one of the highest amounts of matches for any woman on the roster, because Red Velvet, for most of the beginning of this year, just lost on TV. Tony Khan goes through periods of having a favorite wrestler to come in and lose all the time. Queen Anamata is also in that category. And Sky Blue, for a very long time, was at the top of that list. Sky Blue would win on AEW Dark and Dark Elevation, their YouTube shows when they still had those. She would win there, and she would lose on TV constantly. And then towards the end of last year, she started winning middle of last year, started winning on TV. And then she turned heel, and she started winning even more on TV. And there were a lot of tag matches. And also, the beginning of this year, Julia Hart was injured and they wanted to keep the belt on her. So they just had Sky wrestle a lot and then Sky would win. And here is our big guns. Check out these big guns. Our big guns are here. Oops, this popped off, so I got to pop this back on. But yeah, she's definitely improved quite a bit, which is awesome. And here we go. Whoops. These don't like to stay on in this mode. I probably wouldn't do this normally because of the way these work here. Oops. Oops. Oh, no. Oh, check. Okay. I knocked my mic. All right. So we are almost done with this kit. We are body complete with it. We have done this. We just need to, I'm going to take a photo of it looking like this, and then I'm going to put in all of the cool after effects that it came with. Really cool looking shit that needs to go on here. So I will do that in just a moment here. I got to take a photo of this first, and then I'll do the, we're going to go a little past 11 tonight. I hope folks will stick around for it, because it would be weird for me to start the stream on Saturday with this kit and be like, okay, and now let's take off some parts and put on new parts. Like, that would just be weird. This doesn't like to stay up like this, huh? Do it like that. Yeah, I can just do it like that. All right, let's take a photo here. Turn my gun in so we can see the gun. All right. So now we need to build our wings, which are going to go on here. And we'll probably end up putting this on the stand because it'll just be easier when the time comes. Because we have to build our wings. But we need to take off basically all of the effects parts, all of the these effects parts you can see here. All of these need to come off so we can replace them all with various things. I did trim my nails today, which is not a big problem, but is a little bit of a problem because I'm going to have to dig in on all these parts to see what needs to get replaced with them. And then this wants to be down. Yeah. So we'll see. I think I may end up accidentally taking off more than I need to, but I think I know which pieces need to come off because I've done something similar on another kit that's like this. Oh yeah, and then these have to come off. And for these, I'm just going to use my, I'll pull this head off here. And these would all, I could just take all these and put them on here on there. I could just do that if I want to. But instead, I'm just going to take them all off. And then I'm going to put on everything that needs to go on here. So let's see. We need head coming off. There is a new neck effect part, which is a weird thing to say. Basically, I got all these cool pieces. I do like that it's like, it's got wings out of energy that kind of come off a bunch of stuff. And then also, for some reason, it also has like a neck brace. I don't quite know why, but it does. It's got a beam neck. And then these are 4 and 4. Which are... Wait. 1, 2, 3. This 1, 2, 4 and 4. Okay. Oh, yeah. 1 and 4. Sorry. These effect parts look fantastic. This is kind of the reason why I wanted to get this kit in the first place. It's because these effect parts look so goddamn cool. All right, so this is going to go like that. And then, yeah, and when I put these wings on, I'm definitely going to have it stand up on a stand for a photo. But yeah, we're going to go past 11 here because I want to wrap this up because I don't, like I said, I don't want to start. On Saturday, I want to start a new kit, which is, I can tell you, it's the Dagger L. It's a grunt. It's the Dagger L. This is, I think, going to be a pretty quick build because I don't know. That build, the Dagger L, it might not have any stickers. I think it doesn't. So it's kind of a small kit anyway because it's a grunt. And if it doesn't have stickers, that's going to be a real fast build. It's like that's not gonna require much of anything. So that appears to be the case. So yeah, that will not take too long then. I don't know what I'm building after that. We'll have to do a poll with our patrons. Sometime in the middle of April, I am going to be getting, or the Gundam Maxter will be mailed out to me. So that means the second half of the month, some point in the second half of the month, I will get that kit. I don't know when that's going to come, but it will come at some point. So yes. That'll be nice. I need more polycaps. Got to do with this big wing here. Saturday stream, we'll talk about, do some anime recaps. I think I'm going to do anime recaps. I'm not going to do like, hey, here's what I thought of the first 3 episodes. I'm just going to do overviews of a few shows that I didn't talk weekly, but I have been watching. And we'll do that until new stuff starts. And then I also think that every stream, I'm probably going to do some manga chat or manga or manhwa, stuff that I've been reading because I do have quite a few things there to talk about. So, Saturday, it will be manga Saturday as well. It won't just be manga Monday. I think that's the way to do it because I have a bunch of stuff to talk about. Okay, so this has got to go like this. And then this goes in there. Got it. I was just doing that wrong. And then this goes in to there. And then this goes in. And obviously I don't have to panel line any of this because that would be weird. Because it's clear blue. Oops. So yeah, I thought that would be good because I won't, I'll just be like, yeah, here's my thoughts on solo leveling. And it might be like it might be what I said for Pat Bear's Anime Club on Tuesday, but it might be a little more in depth or like I could talk like by then I'll have the last episode of Solo Leveling to chat about. So I can talk to you about, like where we left off and what I think will happen in the future in that show. Because I am assuming there will be more of it because it seems to have done pretty well. I mean, I can only tell so much, but it seems like in Japan, it went over really well. And internationally, I don't know, because it was a little slow. But the source material is so well liked that I think it'll do okay. All right, so this has got to go like that. I do like that these wings, like, I love the idea that it's like, oh yeah, and now the engine in here is going to take on the form of wings to pilot this thing in space. It's like, what? What is it doing? Okay, if you say so. That's fine. So yeah, I think Saturday I'll talk about solo leveling and probably wrong way to use healing magic, and then Monday I'll talk about like maybe cherry magic, maybe Braven or Braven. I don't know. Like I haven't decided yet what of those shows I'm going to be talking about. Oh, that's right. So some of these effects parts I can put on the legs instead of the back if I wanted to. Maybe I'll do that for these. I'll take these off the back and put them on the... I think I can do that. Right? Yeah. Or maybe that's wrong. It doesn't work for these. I thought it did. Oh, yeah, it does. Okay. Yeah, so I can do it like that. It's kind of neat. Oops. Fuck it. All right. I'm getting a little sloppy because it's been late in the stream here. So let me just try to get these on properly and getting this looking cool. And then we can all go raid, continue the nice festivities by going and hang out with somebody else. As we do. I just have one more of these to build and then we'll be all set. I figured out my schedule for wrestling next week, and it's a lot of... Turns out I'm going to watch a lot of wrestling next week. A lot of it live, too. I mean, there'll be some stuff that I don't end up seeing live, but much of it will be live. I've got my month subscription that I won't renew, but for right now I have for a month subscription to Triller, which used to be Fight, but is now going to the Triller name, so that I can watch a lot of wrestling that is happening in Philadelphia next week. And the stuff I miss, I can watch later, like the DDT show. The DDT is doing a show that is happening like while I am streaming next Thursday. And since I'm taking Saturday off, I definitely am not going to take Thursday off as well, just to watch one cool ass wrestling promotion, which I can then watch, again later. What is the dumbest streaming service name at the moment? It might be Triller because that doesn't sound like it means anything. Triller is a really bad name. Tubi, here's the thing. I like Tubi because it has tube in it, and so it kind of has like some kind of relevance to like television. So I kind of don't hate Tubi. I don't know. Honestly, it might be, I don't know. Great service though. Yeah, Tubi's neat. It's just, it might be a bad name. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just do this version. Just put them down. Here we go. All right. Oops. One of these fell off. Where did you fall off? You fell off the back. Freevee. Freevee is a pretty bad name. Yeah, that's not great. Freevee is not great. Because it's Freevee. Yeah, that's not great. I will say this. Dropout is a bad name. Because it is clever if you know that it is from the ashes of College Humor. The idea that the ashes of College Humor, a small streaming service called Dropout, you're like, oh, that's cool. But on its own, Dropout is a bad name. It requires context, and then you're like, oh, that's clever. But just on its own, you're like, oh, yeah, Dimension 20 streams on Dropout. And you're like, what? What? Why? What? So that's bad. I don't know if it's the worst, but it's not great. All right, so here it is. Here are the wing effects. They look rad as fuck. I would, if I was going to display this kit, I would display them with them. I would probably liquid cement them in because they're going to fall all the time, but it's pretty cool. And now I'm going to take a photo of it, signifying that this is the end of the stream. And then I'll have to get rid of all these effects parts at some point. Well, let me take a quick photo here. Get some of these wings and things in. All right, I took a photo. And that, friends, is gonna do it for tonight's stream. I want to thank you all for joining me here. I hope you had a good time. I had a great time working on this cool model kit and hanging out with everybody here in chat. We are gonna raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're gonna find someone doing cool shit out there on the internet, and we're gonna go hang out with them because that's the least we could do. Is we get raided sometimes. I had a big raid on Tuesday. Holy shit! The only thing that sucked was it was like right at the end. I was like 15 minutes left in the stream when we got raided. I wish it had been earlier, but like, I can't complain. It was a nice group of folks coming in from Lunar Jade. So that was nice. Let's see. How long has my friend been streaming before we raid them? We got to find out. They've only been going for about 2 hours. We are going to raid Xandra because Xandra is playing Hitman, World of Assassination. And so we got to raid Xandra because it's been a while since we did. Xandra rules. So we are going to go give Xandra a raid. I hope you come and hang out on the stream with her as she plays some Hitman. And I hope you have a great rest of your night. I hope to see you on Saturday as I begin a new kit, the Dagger L high grade. And good conversation, good chatting, anime talk, manga talk. It'll be fun. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. I'll see you on Saturday. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.